We're looking at exercise 3.2 now, which is say back to the source. So this is very similar to what we've done before, but a little bit different. So we were at first with the note taking in 3.1, responding to it and adding our own ideas. This is a little bit different. So we're going to read the following brief essay, it's just 4 paragraphs, on what college is for by the president of Amherst College. And then we're going to write a paragraph summary. This paragraph summary should be about 2 to maybe 5 sentences. A summary is very, very short, but it kind of captures the main ideas. So I'm going to give you some time to read through this, What is College For by Carolyn A. Biddy Martin, 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. And then I'm going to have you write a short summary, and then we're going to chat about it. So let's chat about those summaries that you wrote. We have talked about plagiarism quite a bit in this course. And obviously we'll be talking more about it because I think most plagiarism is unintentional, especially at this level. But of course, I want to make sure that you know what to do, how to do it, and that you're not plagiarizing. So these are some steps that you can take specifically with your note taking to make sure that you are not plagiarizing. Because what often happens, I would say very, very often, is that students, when they're doing something like, whether it's Cornell Notes or something else, is they summarize the quotation on the side that's them talking, and then they cut and paste that into their essay. But you've summarized it first. And that summary also has to be tagged with an attribution tag and a works cited. So let's look and talk about what that can look like and what we can do to help it. So there are different types of copying. There's the near copy. About half of the borrowed material is copied from the source, usually in a string of phrases. So here in this little example of a summary that a student wrote, everything that's bold was pulled from the actual essay. So it says, students shouldn't necessarily go to college just to focus a particular job, but also to prepare for the complexities of a world that needs rigorous analyses and to create joy for ourselves and others. So those bold pieces would be plagiarism, right? You would see that and you say that's plagiarized, it's from the essay. We'll talk about what to do if or when we do this. Then there's minimal revision, less than half, but more than 20% is copied from the original. Notice that the quotation marks appropriately signal at least one borrowed phrase, but not all of them. So for example, Martin says David Foster Wallace defined what it means to go to college as learning to avoid being, quote, a slave to your head, end quote, and being brave enough to risk what they think they know. So to rectify this one, you would have to put quotations on the other bold one, and you would also have to have a works cited at the end. Moderate revision, oh, that was my timer, is Martin says that college is in the search for a calling, but isn't necessarily a professional one. It includes a willingness to try new things and risk both failure and growth. So here we're just pulling very specific words. And I know that you all know those words, but you really need to be honest with yourself that you would have pulled those words without having read it first. And then of course, there's substantial revision. So here is, according to Martin, college is an opportunity to reimagine ourselves, to break with old ways of thinking and find delight in something other than the usual distraction and entertainment. All this would be missing would be a works cited at the end if it had a page number, because I have the attribution tag here. So we want to be careful and we want to take great care in our note taking that we are doing it correctly. So what can you do? Obviously, you can take any words as long as you use quotations, add an attribution tag to everything, and just make it part of your natural writing. Get in the habit of doing it. Is it a problem if I paraphrase and follow pretty much the same structure? Technically, that is plagiarism. So if you use the same sentence structure, but then change each word, you are plagiarizing their syntax. So most teachers are not going to pick up on that, but it is good habit to not do that. Right, to not pull the exact same syntactical phrase that they are saying. And we are going to talk about more about this. Oh, and this is a great one because I feel like students talk about this a lot. Like, I thought that too, and then I read it. Like, what do I do with that? That was my idea, but then I read and it was like confirmed. So that's perfectly okay. You should say that, like, I had considered this. And then when I read this, they agreed, which confirmed my thinking, blah, 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 blah. That's a good thing that someone else thought it. You're like, oh, I'm not alone. They thought this too. So we want to affirm our thinking in that way.